Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. It is a Friday. So today's video is probably going to be heavy. Because God just will not leave me alone about getting this message out. The topic today is heartbreak. Heartbreak comes in many forms. Come family, friends, and most importantly, relationships. So this year, I've been talking about a lot of taking L's. With my mother kicking me out, I don't have a relationship with either one of my parents. My dad physically assaulted me last year. My mother assaulted me this year. And then dealing with heartbreak in my ex-relationship. And this ain't my first rodeo. However, this is my first time going through all this with my spirituality intact. It makes a huge difference when you are connected to the divine. It makes more sense. It's easier to let go. And just because you are spiritual, sometimes you know better. But you're human, and you don't always do better. It sucks. But I can say that none of those situations haven't taught me anything, or I haven't become stronger because of it, if I haven't gained more clarity. Heartbreak. You ask yourself, why do I keep attracting, it seems like, the same person, just in a different body? And there's a lot of feminists who are very man haters. Like, men ain't this, men ain't that. And it's like, there are good men out there. They just don't look the way that you want them to look. They don't talk, they don't dress, they don't have the swag, the charisma, the charm. And a lot of times, we were told a long time ago. You were told, and you ignored it. The red flags start looking like 6 flags. You justify, you make excuses for people's bad behavior. From a very young age, with my parents, I want to say 5. I knew I wasn't loved. If you're a parent, you can't hide it, fake it. Like, there is a deep-rooted connection that you have with your mother. You are tethered in a very spiritual way. That's why no matter how mad you may get at your mom, you still love them. No matter how messed up they are, you still yearn for that relationship. And if you're on the outside looking in and you know me, then you would be like, Tiffany, you and your mom are so close. Y'all did this and that together. And we did. We played a role. Because, baby, as soon as I made her mad, shit that you should never say to your daughter or even your child, should say to me. My mother has always told me that I'm evil, I'm conniving, I'm a liar. That's why nobody wants to be your friend. She would taunt me, make fun of me. My biggest bully was her. Backhanded compliments. Always backhanded compliments. I'm convinced that my mother wanted to be white so bad, or light skin or whatever, because anything black, and I mean as far as pictures, statues, music, movies, anything that, oh, she rejected, oh, she did not like it. She liked to be the prim and the proper, and oh my God, and just put on this facade, a fake facade, because that's not who she really is. And I feel like she wanted to mold me to be like that. And when I'm gonna concentrate on my relationship with my parents right now. I've never felt fully loved and accepted by my mom, ever. I always felt like she was jealous of me because of how I look, how much attention I got, how often people would compliment me. People were always telling my mom how beautiful I was, and ooh, she's gonna have all this trouble with men. Ooh, you're gonna have to fight the boys, and all my hair, because I've always had really natural long, like this on my hair. It's pinned up right now, but I've always had long hair. That's why I messed it up, because I didn't know how to take care of it. And I promise you, people would tell my mom how wonderful I was, and she'd be like, well, you don't really know her, or I wish she act like that at home. I'm sorry, a bad child is a bad child, period. There's no hiding it. I got into trouble because I was being abused. Mentally, physically, and emotionally by both of my parents. My mom used to pull me by my hair, drag me by my hair sometimes. I'm convinced she wanted to pull it out by how much she would yoke me from my hair. From my crown. Because my mother can't grow her hair. And my mom has that very soft cotton hair. Like no lie. Like, think of cotton, and that is literally the texture that my aunts, and my grandmother had. I get this texture from my dad. My dad was mixed. His mom was white, and his dad was black. So this is why I have this hair, this texture. But I have like 3 different 4 different curl patterns in my hair. So, and I don't know what happened. Something about she had a jerry curl and a perm was put over it and it damaged her scalp and her scalp break out. So her hair never really grew long. And so she would always talk shit about my hair. I remember I was in the process of learning how to do my hair, and I had so many hair fails because I didn't know how to do my hair. I didn't know the correct size rollers to use, the proper products, like, and she'd be right there. I would just feel so down and defeated because I didn't know how to do my hair. And she'd just be sitting there just laughing, just getting a gag out of it. I remember when she used to relax my hair, y'all. My mother would use the bristle brush, right? You know the brush, the old school, the brush. Before they came out with the silicone flat so that it doesn't scrape your scalp, my mom used the brush and she would apply it like this to my scalp, right? Literally. Like, you hear that? That's how she would apply it to my scalp. And by the time she got it all on my head, it would be fucking burning. Like, my head was on fire. And I had to wash it out. And so for the longest time, I thought that my hair couldn't be relaxed because my mother didn't know. I don't know if she don't know what she was doing, or she just didn't care. Honestly, every time my mother did my hair, she just talked shit. She complained. Oh my God, all this hair, and then she was always so rough. You know what I mean? And I don't mean rough like. I have a lot of hair. But she was just so rough. That's just one example of the hair thing. And then I've always been very pro-black. And when I mean by pro-black, I mean like I loved Black history. Like I'm still obsessed with Black history. I love Black history. I love my people. I love being Black. I love being a Black woman. Sometimes I wish I was darker because I was a lot darker when I was younger, when I lived in Cali, because I was always outside playing in the sun. So I was a lot darker. I lit up, my skin got a lot lighter when I moved to the East Coast of Baltimore, Maryland, and the sun barely shines there, and it's always raining. It's always raining. That's when I started to lighten up. That's when I really started to get lightened up, because I used to be teased for being so dark, blacky, nigga, your skin's like dirt, the dumb shit white kids say. My dad was in the military. He was in the Marine Corps in the 90s. I don't know how much the Marine Corps has changed, but it was definitely predominantly white and predominantly full of hillbillies. So we're talking about Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. Everything is always working out for me. My affirmation went off. So, and then you're putting all these people from all these, places, Arkansas, Kansas, and putting them all live on base. Oh, yeah, baby. The prejudice was definitely showing on base. Definitely showing on base. And then my mom is married to a white man. A white man. So, all the shit that came with that. So she's married to this white man. And my stepdad definitely gives, I love the black woman but hate the black man type vibes, because growing up, the way he talked about black people just always just disturbed my fucking soul. There's no such thing as racism. Black people are just lazy. They just don't want to work. They just want everything for free, and they want to live off the system. Yeah. He even made a blackface joke once before in front of my friend. My mother had to talk to him about that, and he apologized, but I feel like they tried to whitewash me, honestly, and I feel like that was a lot of the reason why, because I was always speaking up about, well, black people are like this because, they were trained to be this way, and, well, we weren't always like this. I learned about all the beautiful cities that we created that were flourishing, that they burnt down. And now it's coming out that they put them under the lakes, the Great Lakes. You should Google that. And my stepdad would okay. I've never talked about this out loud. My parents have probably the most toxic relationship I think I've ever witnessed in my life. And they blame me for all the arguments that they had about me. They argued a lot. When my mom would just leave the argument, my dad would come into my room. He would find something stupid to yell at me about, and then he'd just start hitting me. He would yoke me out of my bed. He would throw me to the ground. Sorry. He would call me names. And he'd just sit there and just yell. Sometimes he would take me and he would completely strip me of my clothes and would beat me, would just spank me. And this went on for a while. My mom, I tried to tell her, she wouldn't listen to me. She didn't believe me. So, as a kid, I got into a lot of trouble. I was lying. I started to steal a lot. And not even being bullied outside. I started to get bullied by the neighborhood kids. My mom didn't teach us to fight. Jesus, y'all. My mom did not teach us to fight. Wasn't her thing. Turn the other cheek. Walk away. So then, I would go outside and the kids would pretty much be really mean to me. So mean to me. And I wouldn't do anything. I was like 97 pounds for God most of elementary into high school. I was tiny with big old boobs. I was skinny. And it just went on for a while. And, when you are treated like that, when you get older, you attract men to do the same thing. At a very young age. I'm just giving y'all some examples. I have a story. I was probably in the 3rd grade. I think it was 8 or 9. And my mom was sick. And I remember she asked me to fix The school that I went to, we lived in Escondido, California at the time. And I don't even remember the name of the elementary school that I went to. And she told me to pack our snacks because, we had recess and we could have a snack before we had lunch. And so I'm a kid. I packed my brother's snacks. I packed mine. And then, of course, when I packed mine, because I always felt like my mom wanted to just not give me enough. So I did. I gave myself a little bit extra. For whatever reason, I don't even really know what started it. When my stepdad came downstairs and he started asking me, questions like, why does this look like this? And why is this so full? And did you drink this? And I was like, yeah, I drank it because I poured their juice. And it's like, well, I poured too much of their juice, so I drank it down. And he got mad at that. And then for whatever reason, he looked at like my little lunch, not my lunch, I didn't have a backpack. I had a satchel, and it was a Mickey Mouse one, and it was red. And he looked in my satchel and saw that it was a Ziploc bag, and I had filled up my goldfish to like that much. Normally my mom would give me like here, and it was never enough. Like, it wasn't even enough to make me, like, it just was not enough. And so I filled it up to like right here, so I could have some, and I could share with my friends. And I don't know, he just got so angry. The next thing I know, I'm sliding across the floor. When I tell you that this man slapped the dog shit out of me, he slapped the dog shit out of me. I had a handprint on my face. You could see his handprint on my face. It was that swollen, and my nose was bleeding, and I just was like, what did I do? And I was crying, and he's just yelling, and my mom comes downstairs. And my dad tells her what happened. She took all these snacks, and she overdid this, and didn't tell her that he hit me. And then my mom starts yelling at me. And then by lunchtime, my mother comes and yokes me out of school. I was like, I want to finish my food. Can I finish my food? She wouldn't let me finish my food. I had to leave. And did you talk to anybody? Did anybody ask you any questions? I'm like, no one asked me anything. No one said anything. I'm 9 years old. I don't know that that's wrong. I don't know that that's wrong. By this time, my dad used to grab us right here, like this. He would grab us here, or like this, the back of the throat, and he would squeeze it. And I remember I feel it pulsing, and he would take. I was, like I said, I was super skinny, and he would take me by the arm, and I remember he would squeeze it. And baby, when I tell you, he would squeeze it like that blood pressure machine that the kids like to play on at Walmart. He would yoke me and push me like this. He came home, he apologized, and all this other stuff. I said, no, it's wrong. I don't even know what he told my mom. I have no idea. And as a mom now, I can't fathom how you could justify that. And that was the one of many times that he hit me in my face. Just recently in July, he swung on me in front of my mother. To this day, she tells me I'm wrong. I disrespected him. I was running away from him because he was getting very irate and getting in my face. I ran away because I didn't want to be physically assaulted, and he chased after me. And we had a gate at the top of the stairs, and I closed the gate to keep him away from me. And at the top of the gate, he swung to try and punch me. Right in front of her. And she just yoked him by his hair and said, "Don't you swing on my daughter," all for her to tell me a few hours later how it was my fault, how I antagonized the whole situation, how I was rude. Then the next day, he busts down my door and tries to do it again. And so I called the police this time. So I know a thing or two about heartbreak. And why I'm talking about this is because I need to talk about it. And I just can't afford therapy. And I don't know if anyone is dealing with this, or if you're a parent or a child and you're going through this. I would tell you to tell anyone who will listen. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, the only person that listened to me was my grandmother. I told her what was going on, how I didn't like that he would spank me without my clothes on. It made me feel uncomfortable. I told her how he would hit me and everything. And my mom found out. And when I left my grandmother's house, my mother beat me in the car and was yelling at me, telling me to tell people our business. What goes on in our house stays in our house. So, as I got older, I had a bad attitude. I didn't care about school. I started stealing. I started lying. I just started acting out. Oh, I was crying out for help. And, help never came. Fast forward to like 13, 14 years old. I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but she finally starts to believe me. Mind you, she's still married to this man. And, y'all, it's hard. Don't forget to breathe, y'all. I've been holding that in for a really long time. Because they like to put on a good face and act like everything is cool, act like everything is all right, act like we're just this perfect family, and we're not. I grew up listening to my dad call my mom a bitch, a cunt, stupid, talk down on black people, telling me, "Oh, you just want to be this hood chick. You're just trying to be hood. You just want to be ghetto. You just want to be this ghetto fabulous hood chick." Y'all, all because I started listening to 50 Cent. And y'all, I only listened to the edited version. And I was getting into hip hop and rap. I wasn't even listening to the hardcore stuff. I wasn't even listening to the stuff with the cussing. And then I used to talk slang. I used to speak with slang. Every generation has slang. Every generation. Dynamite, Cat Daddy, Solly. What else did they have? Tubular. Like, oh my God, no way, whatever. Every generation had it. I was just speaking the slang of my generation, and it's like there was no room for me to explore, no room for me to develop me. It was so much of them telling me who I am, what I am, and so much of it was negative. telling me that I'm evil, telling me I'm a bad person, telling me I'm not a good daughter, telling me that no one's going to want to be around me, no one wants to be my friend. And, just, I remember I used to sit, when I would get in trouble, I would have to sit on the couch, sit in the chair, sit at the table. I shit you not, I'm not even over exaggerating, for 4 to 5 hours. I would have to listen to my parents degrade me, talk down on me, call me names. And I honestly just feel like try to convince me how horrible of a person that I am. I lied, I still. But it's like, what do you expect? Every single day they argued. Every single day I'm being woken up. If not every day, every other day, to something being thrown, glass breaking, them arguing, my mother pushing my dad through a doorway, my dad busting down the doors, punching walls. As young as 5, I remember this. And then when you leave from the argument, like clockwork, every single time, he'd come find me. And then I was just punching back. What do you think that does to a little girl? What do you think I learned? Through my healing journey, I learned, I was taught that you're not lovable. You're not worthy. You're not worthy to be treated right. You're not a good person. No one likes you anyway. And to add more insult to injury, my stepdad would always try to convince my mom to send me away. He would tell me all the time that when you turn 18, you're getting out of here. No one wants you here. Your own mother doesn't even like you. Look, she don't even talk to you. She walks around this house. She ignores you. Oh, baby, let me tell you something. When I used to get in trouble, it could be for any little thing. She would walk around the house like I didn't exist. She would look through me, wouldn't talk to me, would barely even want to fix me a plate of food. Like, just straight ignore me. What do you think that does? As a little girl growing up to a woman, what do you think that I learned? So when I got out there, baby, I swear to God, it's like I just magnetized myself to the one person that is just like my mother, just like my father, and 10 times worse. I got into an abusive relationship. And he did the same thing. Back me into corners. Tell me how worthless I was. Give me the silent treatment. Cheated on me, lied on me. Just did the most. Got me pregnant on purpose, y'all. I swear that man drugged me. I don't care what nobody says. Because I was not having sex with him and he knew that. That shit sits with you. It programs you. And you gotta know that. And you gotta heal it. You gotta go through it. You gotta remember the bad stuff. It took me a really long time to look in the mirror and love what I saw. I know that's hard to believe. But for a very long time, I hated how I looked. I did not think I was beautiful. I did not think I was pretty. I always thought I was fat. I always hated my body. I hated my hair. I was very whitewashed. I wanted my skin to be lighter when I was younger. I wanted straight hair. And it wasn't until I moved to Baltimore. I moved to Baltimore, Maryland, that changed for me. Did I stop having that whitewash type thing, where you put the towel on your head and you're pretending like your hair is long and straight. It took me a really long time. But you know what I learned? Heartbreak is just part of life. You got a bunch of broken people cutting people with their pieces. I can't even have an honest conversation with my mother about what she did to me. She cannot handle it. She's such a narcissist. She can't fathom the fact that she chose a man over her children. She chose a man. And, she says, oh, I had kids. What did you expect me to do? You think you're the first woman to have kids? I had an aunt who literally had a husband like I beat her so bad that anytime she got stressed out, she got seizures. All three of my aunts, all three of them have been in emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive relationships. Bad ones. Whooping their ass bad. So when my son's father started to put his hands on me, nah. Lucky for me, this is the only scar that I have from that man physically. And so much I think of being a black woman is putting on a brave face and acting like you're strong. Bury this pain inside, right? Because they tell you, oh, you'll be okay. Time heals all wounds, right? You're strong. You a black woman. Stop crying. Stand up. No. Do not do that. Let your heart break. Feel that pain. And know that you did not deserve it. My dating life has been really terrible. I attract narcissistic men. How do I know? Because a narcissistic man will lie to you, will cheat you. You can have all of the evidence, shove it in their face, and they will still call you a lie and say they didn't do it. Will take no accountability and find a way to make it your fault. And then they punish you as a way to set you straight. Silent treatment, they'll ghost you, not come home, won't call, won't text, just act like a little bitch. And it's heartbreaking, y'all. Heartbreak. But I'm learning that I'm an alchemist. Because when I tell my story to the few people that know my story, they always say, man, Tiffany, you don't look like what you've been through, girl. Honestly, you should have way more kids than what you have. You should be strung out on drugs. Like, shit like this happen to people and they don't want to love. They don't want to do this anymore. And it's like, even the relationship that I was in, it's a complete narcissist. I didn't have the tools. I thought I was healed. I was single for almost 8 years before I met him. I thought I healed. I thought I did. But baby, I wasn't healing. I was hiding. After you're in an abusive relationship with a man, physically abusive, it's hard to trust again. I can admit that. I wanted to, but can't. It's not safe. So I would watch people like April Mason. I took her dating class and and like she said, the women come, they get enough, and they go. And that was one of me. I really didn't dig as deep as I should. And I damn near attracted the same fucking thing. Again. And at this tender age of 36, I'm blaming nobody but myself. I will never apologize for loving, for giving too much, for forgiving too much, for trying too much, because so much of my life this year has been ripped away and dragged down. And he was like the last little piece that I was hanging on to for dear life. Until I realized, baby, I'm not hanging on for dear life. I'm clenching on because I'm trying to breathe, because he's the one pushing my head underneath the water, sleeping with the enemy. I thought I got it right. Checked all the boxes. But then I realized I don't know what a good man is. I don't know what being treated well is. All I know is survival and struggle. So I learned it. I returned to April Mason. I returned to Ashira. Sprinkle. If this, everything that she said was true. That ride or die shit, it sets you up to be left. Because when you help a man out, they resent you for it. Because you don't see them as a man. You don't see them as a man. Because why can't you stand on your 2 feet, black man? This is the crazy part for me. Those type of men have no problem asking a bitch for some help, but won't never approach another man. You know why? They know why they won't do that. Heartbreak, baby. I encourage you to go on the journey. Sit in the pain. Acknowledge your past. I did an exercise that I want to encourage y'all to do, where I sat with myself, I closed my eyes, and I envisioned my younger self. Y'all, when I sat with myself and I finally saw my younger self, I'm going to tell you what I saw. I was probably about 5 years old. And I had my hair done. I had bows in my hair because my mom kept bows in my hair. And I had on this really girly, froofy, lacy, itchy-ass dress with the stockings and the nice shoes, because that's how my mother liked to dress me when I was younger. And I was standing there with my fist balled to the side. And I'm just, right? And you just see just tears coming down my face. And I don't know if y'all watch anime, but how Dragon Ball Z goes when they're doing their Super Saiyan and all that wind is around them, right? It was like that. And I was just, and I remember going like this towards myself because there was a big light and I couldn't see. And I got closer and closer and I hugged her. Mind you, my eyes are closed. I'm meditating this, right? I don't even know what room we're in, but I hugged my younger self. And I broke down My younger self broke down into me. And she was just why doesn't anybody love me? And my younger self just started sobbing. And it's, again, I'm meditating. And so I'm just, and I was like, I want you to know that the only person that needs to love you is you. And once you love you, the rest will come. My best friend in this entire world is Brittany. I don't know how or why we crossed paths, but that woman, that woman has kept me alive. That woman has poured into me more than anybody on this earth. She is one of the most amazing people I have ever met in my life. And the Bible says that if you have one good friend that you are blessed, and that is her. She showed up at a time where I needed her the most. I was 14 years old. We lived in Baltimore, Maryland, in this very small 1930 Cape Cod house off of Dogwood Road. We lived on Hillside Drive, right next to Woodlawn High School. And my mom hated Baltimore. We were homeschooled, so she never took us anywhere. She didn't want to go anywhere. So we were in the house all day, every day. And we weren't used to that because we were from Cali. We were used to going out, exploring and everything, finding things to do. And I met Brittany, and I started to explore the city. I started to go to Shake and Bake. And Shake and Bake was a skating ring down there. She took me to Park Heights, baby, where I used to watch the Pimps and Hoes, honey, and the crackheads. She used to live on Emerson and North Bend. It was a really nice neighborhood that she lived into, but a couple streets over, it was ghetto as hell. And the gas station at the corner used to always get robbed. But I started to explore the city. And as much as I love Baltimore, the atmosphere is very low vibrational. The folks there are very mean, nasty, angry. But when I started to study the city and the history of the city, I could understand why. But that's something else for another day. So many of us have an inner child that's in us that is screaming in pain. And baby, you need to go back. You need to talk to your younger self and tell her that you made it. I sat there and I talked to my younger self and I let her know about the journey that I was on. Because see, growing up back then, there was no cell phones, there was no internet, there was no talking about manifesting, there was no tarot, like the movies made it a taboo, there was no talk of self-love. There was no mental health awareness. Nobody talked about that. If you had a mental health or whatever, you kept that shit shut, or you could be shunned from society and judged. There was no talking of self-love. You just keep on keeping on. Act like it didn't happen. Which is why you got this new generation that is just mentally a mess. Nobody wants to heal and deal. I am literally in a position right now where it's just me and God. I'm afraid. The one person I thought I could count on, can't count on. He's being a total bitch. An asshole. But baby, I grew up in a house full of assholes. There's nothing that you can do to me that ain't already been done to me. But I ignored the red flags. Don't let shit harden your heart. You just have to have better boundaries. You really need to know that when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Fuck the potential. Fuck what he could be. He may never reach it. You may never get that apology. You may never get that understanding. And be okay with that. Move on. Get along. Get the fuck on. Get out of Dodge. Confirmation. Confirmation. Think positive. What you think manifest. You gotta acknowledge that everything that we learned when we were younger was dysfunctional, and we gotta unlearn it and relearn the healthy way. Can't keep doing the same thing if you want different results, you know? Even though I'm scared, even though I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how I'm gonna move, I don't know what direction I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna be okay regardless. They may see this video, they may not. But I'm a good person. And I'm not gonna allow the many people who allowed their wounds to get in the way to stop me from being a good person. I still believe in love. But now I understand love ain't enough. Love gotta come with maturity, boundaries, respect, integrity, intentions, words matching actions, tone. How do people speak about them? All that. 36 years old. I'm not a kid anymore. And so much of my hurt little girl, unbeknownst to me, has been running the show. But not anymore. I understand that I am an oracle, that I am an alchemist, starseed, earth angel. I understand that I'm on a very different journey, and I'm starting to believe that my journey is to heal. Heal your heart, heal your mental, and love. Because even when these people, even when my folks just mistreating me, I still looked out for them. Do you know how many times I've had to protect my mom from my stepdad? Do you know how many times my mom begged me not to leave because she was too afraid to live with him by herself? So I stayed and I endured through the abuse because I love my mom. I got away from my abuser. My mom straight looked at me and said, she said, you got away from Junior's dad. Your abuser, I'm still with mine. I stayed living with my mom for so many years in hopes that she would leave. You have no idea how many times we talked and planned about apartments, houses, moving, getting money, but when it was time to put the action in, she bitched up every time. I can't live all this. I'm not gonna live in that apartment. Like, you gotta be willing to live with some discomfort, baby, for peace. Because this last time I told Mama, we're not gonna worry about it. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna do Amazon Flex, and we're gonna get to the money. She did it one time, and she was like, "Oh well, I can't do it because my back, I have my bad back, and my back is just so tight and turning, so I just can't do it. So when you get to the second stage where they start sending you the schedule, then you let me know, and then we can do it." Oh, so you want me to get out here and grind and bust my ass while you just sitting up here pretty being taken care of? No. I looked at her and I said, "I'm wasting my fucking time. You're comfortable. This is all you know, and you're too scared to choose different." Baby, the excuses over the years were, "I have kids, I'm homeschooling y'all, I don't want y'all to grow up without a father, and then I'll just stay until your youngest brother turns 18. My youngest brother is 25. Then it was, well, he just has a lot of issues, and he needs help, and he can't help it. It changes. Heartbreak. The heart is the only thing that I know that can break and can be put back together. It never ends. This journey never ends. It's forever evolving, forever learning, forever healing. I hope this video has made sense. I've hoped it's helped someone out there. I hope I haven't been bouncing everywhere. I feel so much better now that I got that off of my chest. I'm learning to forgive, and I'm learning to let go, and I'm learning just to let them be over there. I'm not wanted over there. I'm not valued. I'm not appreciated. Because I have given all of me. And when you're an abused, abandoned child, especially a woman, we tend to give our all. And what happens when you give people your all is when they're done with you, and because usually you give your all to someone who does not deserve it, who does not appreciate it, who does not value it, and does not reciprocate. Because when they start to do less, we think, "Oh, well, let me do more." No. That is a recipe to be stomped on, used, abused, and discarded like you're nothing. And I promise you, they won't lose a bit of sleep about it. Well, my ancestors are different, so they're going to be tagging that ass. So, they just might work different. So, yeah. And I don't worry about no get back. I just look at them and I tell them to their face, "You finna get it." And I also told him, "What you do to me is already done to you." It's not evil. It's facts. I was genuine to my folks. I sacrificed myself so many times for my mom just to be disrespected by her and my dad over and over and over. And then they wonder why how can you function in this? That's what used to crazy. I couldn't function in it. That's why I had a badass attitude. That's why I was all the time. That's why I was just irritable. That's why I stayed in my room. That's why I didn't talk to nobody. I can't function like this. And the fact that you feel like you're functioning and you're okay and you're just, it's insane. This is the road that's less traveled. You're worth it. Heal however you need to. Whether you need to go and just scream to the sky, smoke, cry, talk to somebody, I don't know, get it out. Heal that broken heart. Because let me tell you, what's wrong with the world now is you have so many people walking around with a broken heart. And their spirit is so weak. And these low vibrational energies love to feed on that. Anything in this world, you can connect it to a broken heart. weary soul. Happiness is a choice. You can choose it at any moment. That doesn't mean that you won't have moments where you're sad, where you just want to break down, because you will. Trust me, because I do. I do. Because the way this man is handling me right now. It's unbelievable. They say they want a woman to ride with them, to die. You know, I ain't dying, but to support, to uplift, to understand, to not judge, to speak life into you. I prayed for him so. He has no idea how much I used to pray. It wasn't you. It was my prayers. People underestimate the power of prayer. Oh, they underestimate the power of prayer. Even God said, let there be light. He used words. Let there be light. Let there be day and night. Let there be stars in the sky. Let there be land. Let there be oceans and water. Fill the oceans with the living. You know, words are spells. The tongue, life or death. Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? Are you speaking life or speaking death? I don't know where my life is going. This is the most unknown and out of control. Not really out of control, but yeah, I feel like I'm not in control. I'm literally feeling like God is like, literally, you're not in control. Sit your ass down, enjoy the ride. But baby, this ride is getting bumpy. The walls are starting to cave in. This nigga don't know I am a few crumbs short of a cookie, baby. Y'all, I have completely acted out of, well, I don't feel like I've acted out of my character, because sometimes you need to slap a motherfucker. If you're on my channel, you should know I'm very, very spiritual. I am not religious, so turn that other cheek so he could slap the other one. Dead. Jesus didn't even do that. When they was doing what they was doing in the temple, he came in and ran amok and flipped tables over. What are you doing? The fool's journey, I promise you, no matter what you're going through, what you're looking for, is for you to show up for you. When they say that everything that you're looking for and that you want is inside of you, it is inside of you. All that love, all that acceptance that you want, to be chosen, to be unconditionally loved, your soul is waiting for you to do it for you. Nobody else. Because until you can do that for you, you're not going to attract someone that's going to be able to do it for you. If you're broken and you're feeling less, sorry, y'all. It told me add effects using hand gestures. Turn on reactions to express yourself with a hand gesture during a video. Clicked in the status menu. Oh. Oh, it can blur. Oh. Oh, I can change my background? Y'all. Oh, future videos are finna be lit, honey. Okay, I did not mean for this video to be so long. So if you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Thank you for going on this journey with me. I hope you stay a while. I hope you share, like, subscribe. I don't really feel like I should say that. Y'all are on YouTube. Y'all know how YouTube works. You know. But no, I'm going to be all right. I've been all right. I know who Spirit is. I know who I pray to. I know who I worship. I know that my ancestors are watching over me. I know that I'm a very powerful person. I have tapped into my magic so many times. And I want to leave you with this. If you believe that there is a God, a higher being, right, and we are made in His image, then understand that we are literally made in the image. We possess the same powers. So if this is God, then that makes us demigods, and we're made in their image. Speak life. Speak what you want into your life. Speak what you want to happen, and watch it happen. Write it down. Write it down with pencil, too. It's important. The lead that they use in pencils is also a crystal. It's granite. I learned this in a TikTok. I looked it up myself, and it's very powerful to write things down with a pencil. Thank you. I love you, and I will see y'all next time. Toodles.